The 2014 season finale for the AERS Racing Series will be at Saskatchewan for the Saskatchewan 300. The championship battle looks exactly as it is on the screen. Nate Smith has to finish 15th or better, and he will clinch this championship. Mac DeCario very close behind him in second place, 66 points back. And Casey Lester is a long shot for this one, but he's obviously going to do whatever it takes to get him the championship. He basically needs to win this race and lead the most laps. AAA pole award goes to Ross Lowrey. Won't be returning in that number 80 car next year, but he's ending it off strong in that discount tire Chevrolet for Garth Enterprises. He has Mike Oppenheimer to his outside, Greg Sauer third, Michael Carter starting fourth, and Clyde Lattinger, who recently signed a AAPT deal for next year, starting in the 5th position. Here's Nate Smith. Remember, he is the point leader. He started 35th, and in that retro at number 83, he is working his way through the field very quickly here on the first lap already, and separating himself a little bit from Mac DeCario. Saw trouble up ahead. That's Louis Tellez in the 12 getting turned by Frank Harris after he made contact with Wendy Fisher, and the 12 car goes around on lap number 2, and we have our first caution fly early on in the Saskatchewan 300. This is the race back to the light. Clyde Lattinger is your leader. Kent Grosso passes him under yellow and is the first car into the pits, but Clyde Lattinger, the last races of the year bring out the best in some of the guys that really have struggled all year. And it's definitely what we're seeing already here at Saskatchewan. In the finale, Ross Lowrey and Mike Oppenheimer stay out along with Bjorn Brewer and a couple of others. And on lap 7, we get our restart. Ross Lowrey with a huge jump on the restart. And the officials were trying to crack down on that, but apparently he did not jump the start as much as it seemed. Here are the other two championship contenders, DeCario and Lester, running in the 34th and 35th positions right now. Nate Smith running 31st. And Lester and DeCario both making their way through the field early on in this one. They're going to need some good runs if they want to pass Nate Smith in the championship standings. Nate Smith's been great all year, obviously, and looking to continue doing that here in this race. Mike Oppenheimer is your leader. Keith Davis strong on his tail, though. And actually, we're not sure if Oppenheimer or his team is actually returning next year. Rumors have that team taking their program over to Formula One and abandoning their stock car program, but we're not sure as of yet. We hope to see them back in the series next year. They've been great in their time here, as we see Kenny Gerald and Keith Davis now battle for the lead early on in this one, and the Max Ford, who will be getting sponsorship from Holiday Inn next year once again. So like old times, Kenny Gerald will have Holiday Inn on the car. He's had a strong season after a bad couple of seasons in the past, and he's got that sponsorship back where he wants it. Here's Earl McRae making his debut. Many thought this would never come after his previous seasons in this series, but he's run great in the AAPT and making his first career start in that number 77 American-themed car in a Canadian race, and running very well with it. The 83 and 96, here they are battling on lap number 20, and they're right by David Lee Bibson and Casey Anderson in the 38, and these two would be just trying to mirror each other in the early stages of this one. Last week's winner, Nick Dawson, is running 40th. He announced that he will be making a return next season, and that's great to hear from one of our top rookies this season, as Justin Pisani is taking the lead away from Keith Davis, looking for his second career win. Here comes Jason Miller, though, looking to spoil that in the number 7 car, who's run great this season, in the second half at least. And he is taking the lead away from season veteran Justin Pisani right now. Todd Kinson, though, would eventually find his way through into the first position. There's Jonathan Ringer right behind him, who has been absolutely outstanding these past 4 races, and he's going to actually take the lead here. And maybe we see him in a different car next year, as we don't know if the Opbank team is returning. As here's Opbank 1, 2, 3, and man, these guys have been running. They always run up at the front in the early stages of this one, and we don't know where Todd Bradshaw is right now, but the 3 other cars running 1, 2, 3. Ricardo Blanco's fallen off in the second half of this season, and Oppenheimer's not had that good of a season. And Ringer, obviously, been fantastic these past 4 races. 4 wide in the back is Herb Cilantro. Earl McRae get together. There goes Cilantro. Mac DeCario involved. And Nate Smith maybe got a piece of that as well. DeCario sliding up the track is hit again by Alex Yates. And this may put an end to the title race already. DeCario spins around. Nate Smith did get a piece of that, and then we see the one car just going in there. And let's go on board DeCario, see what he saw, as there's the 42 spinning. Luke Kinzen gets spun in front of him into the Ford, no real damage there. And then there's the one of Jates just hitting him, and the Ally Buick has some decent damage on the front end. As let's take a look at Nate Smith's view as he gets a piece of cilantro and does a great job to avoid the rest of that one. But this gives the edge to Nate Smith early on here at Saskatchewan, as Mac DeCario has some front end and side damage to that number 96 Buick Regal. Mike Oppenheimer leads the field into the pits under the yellow, comes out in the lead, and will lead the field down to the green on lap number 29, and down into turn number 1, holds it for the time being. Will Legge would eventually get the lead, though, with Todd Kinzen battling right beside him for that top spot as they head down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. It looks like the Garth cars down on the bottom are going to take the top 2 positions. Mac DeCario kind of slow as we see our championship update on the bottom left of the screen. DeCario definitely needs to pick it up or have Nate Smith have some bad fortunes here if he's going to win the title, as his car is not very fast after that damage he received in the second yellow of the race, as Casey Lester is actually moving his way through the field along with Nate Smith, and it's not looking good for DeCario at the time being. Back up front, though, we see Jimmy Cohen is taking the lead with Kenny Gerald's all over him, and Gerald is looking underneath the 92. Cohen in his last stint in this car, the last race he will see in the Porter Racing Corporation stable. Here's Brian Hensler, who gets turned into the inside wall by Bruce Wilkinson, and on lap 35 the officials already throw the yellow up at the racetrack. Nate Smith plows into him! Nate Smith, our championship leader, more trouble as more cars plow into Smith and Hensler, and the red flag is going to fly at lap 35. Unbelievable turn of events as Nate Smith done for the race. As we take a look at the rest of this wreck, Todd Bradshaw in there getting his back damage, and wow, here's Smith. Oh man, nowhere to go, and he just slides down the racetrack, and that is a helpless feeling right there. The 10 car lifted high in the air, and let's go on board Smith. Just a terrible break. We did not want to see the championship battle end like this. Nowhere to go. Now this sets up quite an interesting battle here, as DeCario, if he finishes 15th or better, will be able to secure the title. And wow, DeCario, that I don't know if that can do it for him. Casey Lester actually getting word that he is mathematically eliminated since Smith retires in the 37th position, and Casey Lester cannot earn enough points to get by Smith's point total. Wow, what a turn of events. But DeCario must finish 15th or better now, as we take another look at this from the spectator camera. And just a bunch of cars involved in this one. I'm at a loss for words, really, as here's DeCario. He actually made a great job at getting around this wreck. But obviously he's got a job to do now. He's got to finish 15th or better, and he will win the title, as Nate Smith's day is done. His championship hopes very much alive, though, so we'll keep an eye out, obviously, on the points situation the rest of this one. Kenny Geralds leads the field into the pits, and Jason Miller stays out in the number 7 car, and he will get the lead away from him. Actually, he came in, so throw that out the window. Ross Lowrey is the new leader, and he leads the field to the green. He led the field out of the pits, and he is your new leader in the Discount Tire Chevrolet. The 92, Jimmy Cohen, mentioned this is his last race with the Porter Racing Corporation. He will be moving to a different team next year. He takes the lead in the 92. Questionable move by Cohen, and he has run very well in the 92, doing better of the 2 cars in that stable, and he's definitely got himself a good ride, a great team, and he's run very well this season. Top 20 in points. As you see Carson Crompton looking to the lead, and we see Mac DeCario in the 96 and he is running in the 21st position, so not quite good enough, but we'll definitely keep an eye on him the rest of this one. Michael Carter is battling Jimmy Cohen for the lead meanwhile, and is going to take it. Carter has had bad luck this season, and has had some pretty decent runs, unable to get the job done and secure himself a top 10 really, and he's got 2 of those this season, which is a career low for him, and he's definitely doing very well so far here at Saskatchewan. As we see another battle for the lead brewing, as Carson Crompton is taking the lead away from Todd Kinsen and his Canadian Vans Pontiac. Taking a look at Cody Lochner now, he started 42nd. He is up in the 3rd position. A great drive from Cody Lochner, he's also struggled this season, much like Carter, but he is definitely putting on a show here at Saskatchewan, as we see the 84 getting passed by Todd Kinsen in the 82, and Kinsen's not had a very good year either. Here we go again with the Canadian Vans Pontiac going underneath the 82, but Kinsen definitely looking to turn it around next year. He hasn't had the year he would have liked in his return to the series. Justin Pisani is underneath the 84. Once again, these two looking like they could be 2 of the guys to watch out for in the end. These 3 actually, as Todd Kinsen's run very well to this point in the races. Here he goes underneath Pisani for the lead just a lap later. And these guys continue to battle. It's these 3 though who I think will be there at the end, and we're just going to have to see what happens here for the rest of this one. Will Legge in the 15, we saw him running up there early in the race. Apparently got some pit road damage, and he won't repeat here at Saskatchewan in that number 15 car, as he's got some major damage actually to the 15. Unsure of what happened to him, however. In the front of the field, though, we see Barry Juvenot, Jimmy Cohen, and now Casey Lester battling for the top spot. Lester obviously needs to win the race and lead the most laps. However, he is not eligible for the title any longer, as the 83 car finishes 37th. He needed him to finish 41st or 42nd to win the title, but he's doing everything in his power that he could to win this title, and if he wins this race, definitely would be a huge accomplishment, but unfortunately for him, will not win the 2014 title. We saw Todd Kinsen taking the lead, and now we see a battle between the 84 and 82. Once again, Carson Crompton going to the lead past Todd Kinsen's Garth Enterprises Chevrolet, and these guys continue to battle at the front. Ricardo Blanco is falling back, and now is going to get turned on lap number 63 by Justin Pisani. Out the racetrack into Bjorn Brewer, and collects Kenny Gerald's Kent Grosso in there as well, and we're still waiting for DiCario. There he goes. Looks like he got through the wreck all right in his Ally Buick. As we see the wreckage once again, Gerald's really nowhere to go. Grosso spins and he hits him, and DiCario does get through that all right. Here's Carson Crompton leading the field into the pits, and taking a look at Mac DiCario now, as David Lee Bibson piles into him, and alright, David Lee Bibson apparently having a problem with the 96 car. Here he comes once again and gives him another shot. Unsure what's up with that. That is confusing. David Lee Bibson not using his head. As we see the battle out of pits, Carson Crompton is your leader, and on lap 69 we would restart with him in the lead as they go down into turn number 1, and Carson Crompton continuing to lead in his number 94 car. Here's DiCario. That damage has slowed him down quite a bit, and you see the top 3 actually come in to the pits. Penalties for them on the restart. Unsure what for, but they came in for a stop and go. All of the top 3, very weird thing here, and I don't know what the penalties were for, but we'll have to get confirmation on that. The 92 of Jimmy Cohen is going to lead this race now, as he gets underneath the 7th, the 80 right behind him, and the 80 car of Ross Lowrey, or pole sitter, would actually take the lead away from Jimmy Cohen. Clyde Lattinger in the 04 fell way back earlier in the race. He has worked his way back up into the 3rd position. Great drive from Clyde Lattinger. This may be his last start in the AERS for a little while, as he's moved on to the Averill motorsports team for the Aflac All-Pro Tour in 2015. Unsure of his AERS plans, but we know for sure he'll be in the AAPT next year at the very least. Justin Pisani is now taking the lead away from Greg Sauer, who took away a couple laps earlier from Ross Lowrey and Clyde Lattinger, and Justin Pisani back up in P1 in the middle of this one. Here's Sauer working again underneath the 16 car, the 7 and the 50 lap down, and the 50 actually about to go another lap down. A little bit of contact between the 60 and the 50 car of Jared Cash, and the 16 of Justin Pisani. I might have said 60 there, but the 16 of Justin Pisani makes it through unscathed. Lap 87, 3 wide for the lead is Casey Anderson in the 38, and Barry Juveno have moved their way up into the top positions. Casey Anderson running another one-off race. He's been stellar all year in the races he has attempted, and he gets passed for the lead by Pisani. Through 1 and 2, it looks like Carson Crumpton has got his lap back. Taking a look at his teammate, Casey Anderson in the 38, just talking about him. Been very good in the races he's attempted, and he's looking for an AERS ride next year. We'll most definitely get one. Casey Lester going for the lead on Greg Sauer just 4 laps later. And the Aflac 4 looking for his 3rd win of the season. And it's been a storybook career so far for Casey Lester, storybook season. But unfortunately, that championship will not come for him. 16 of Pisani back to the lead. Once again, major lap traffic in front of him. That's all pretty much the same speed. And he gets through that all right, but we have some more lead changes as expected here at Saskatchewan as we see the 38 go right back by, and then we see the 21 of Tim Averill. This is the first we've seen of him this race. He moves up to the top position in his number 21 Sony Pontiac. We'll be moving to Volkswagen next year in the number 75 Stanley Tools car, and it's a great move for him. He's had a great, solid rookie season, and obviously he has a win to his name at the McKinley 200 last season in a one-off event. Here's Greg Sauer in 3rd place, getting turned by Ross Lowrey. Lowrey goes around in lap 104. Our 5th caution would fly. The other Garth car in this top pack, Keith Davis is involved as well, but Greg Sauer getting the worst of this one as he just merged up into the 80. I'd put all the blame on Sauer there, but collects Clyde Lattinger, Jimmy Cohen, Cody Lochner got a piece of it, and the 24 will continue on. Casey Anderson led the field into the pits under the yellow, comes out with the lead, and on the restart gets a huge jump. And we're not sure if that's Averill being slow on the start or if it's the 38 jumping it, but the officials did not give out any penalties. Keith Davis very slow on the restart. Obviously not good for the rest of the pack as this slows them up a bunch, and the 88 car needs to get up to minimum speed at least. The AARO officials were warning him. As we see our championship update, Mac DeCario running in the 14th position, and he has a 5-point lead over Nate Smith, and if he can just keep it where it is, at least he will be your 2014 champion. Casey Lester 40 points back as he is in 2nd, and yeah, nope, there he goes to 1st as the championship battle does heat up a little bit as obviously Lester won't be able to get it done. A couple laps later, the 84 car to the lead underneath Justin Pisani. There's Michael Carter in the 39, obviously a lap down from his earlier incident, and surprisingly not helping his teammate Justin Pisani, but Carson Crompton goes to P1. Pisani gets it back though, Carter right in front of him still, as Carter's actually keeping speed with these guys. Eventually the 84 and his teammate Casey Anderson, the 38, would break away from the pack here, and we'd have green flag stops on lap 165. Justin Pisani kicks him off running 3rd, and he leads a couple cars into the pits. A couple laps later, we'd see the rest of the leaders come in. Here's Carson Crompton coming in from the 1st position. A couple laps later, and then 1 lap later, Casey Anderson in the 38, who assumed the lead, would come in his Arizona Pontiac. Here's a spin on lap 166. Wendy Fisher and Earl McRae get together. Fisher's been involved in a couple wrecks already, as has McRae. Wilkinson there, and then Jason Miller. I don't know what that was, but here's a replay of the wreck. McRae and Fisher making contact. Wilkinson gets swept up in this, and then here comes the 7 car right there. I don't know what that was. Averill got a piece of that as well, but that takes out Jason Miller at the very least. On the restart, lap 174, Carson Crompton is your leader. The lap car's not lining up on the inside. Don't know what that's all about, but here is another battle for the leaders. Justin Pisani is underneath the 84 car now and will take the top spot away. As these two, like I said, the two dominant cars so far throughout this entire race. Casey Anderson lurking there in third, and the 16 goes down into turn number 1. Looks like the 84 is going to make a comeback charge on the 16 car, and that Canadian Pontiac is going to take the lead back from Justin Pisani's number 16 Verizon Dodge for JN Motorsports. Casey Lester sitting in the third position. Maybe he has a shot at winning this one. Lap traffic hinders the 84 though, as here comes the 16. Contact with Keith Davis into the wall a little bit, but the 16 keeps the lead. Lester now looking underneath Pisani for that top spot. Championship update on the bottom. Lester out of the championship, obviously, but he's made some great ground as Smith is now 20 points behind DeCario, who is running in the 9th position. This is more and more looking like DeCario's to lose here. Lap 187, here comes Carson Crompton to the lead past the 87. 5 laps to go. Casey Lester all over the back of the 84. Can he get a move done on him? He said on the radio he does not want to make his move too early. And, well, here comes his move with just 4 laps to go. Crossing the line will be 3 laps to go as he uses Wendy Fisher in the 11 a little bit and gets around Carson Crompton. A little bit of contact between Lester and Fisher, and Wendy Fisher causes another wreck, and we'd have our race ender on lap 198. Pisani in there as well, and one of the dominant cars of the race. Ran very strong all race. Justin Pisani gets swept up in this one. Tough break for him. He won't get the finish he deserves at all. And this will obviously end the race. And, well, we have a nice bet here. Let's first take a look on board Justin Pisani. But we'd have a very close battle to the line. We'll get to that right here. As Lester and Crompton were the only two to cross the line before the yellow came out. Here they come off turn number 4. Crompton looking to the inside. Off turn number 4. It's going to be a photo finish. And it's going to be too close to call from that view. Again from that view. And let's take a look from the helicopter cam. Looks like Lester has Crompton beat by just a little bit. And the closest finish of the year actually won't be counted as the closest finish of the year, as this one will finish under yellow if Lester can keep it going. And he will have his series-leading 3rd win on the year. He wins the Saskatchewan 300. Casey Lester winning. Carson Crompton coming very close in that number 84 to his 2nd win of the year. Mac DeCario comes across the line in the 9th position in his Ally Buick. And remember, he had to finish 15th or better to win the title, and he finishes 9th as you see the field going through the start-finish line and rounding turn number 1 under the yellow. Great win from Casey Lester in the Saskatchewan 300, his 3rd win of the year, leading all drivers. But there's still one thing to decide, and that is your 2014 champion. And that would be the number 96 of Mac DeCario, stealing the championship away on the last race of the year. And he had 0 wins to his name on the 2014 campaign, just like Justin Pisani in 2008. As you see, DeCario does burnouts on the front straightaway. Congratulations to Mac DeCario and the Ally team for winning this championship. Sam David's racing their first ever championship, and DeCario getting it done here at Saskatchewan in that very beat-up number 96 car. Congratulations, Mac DeCario. So Mac DeCario wins the championship, and Casey Lester wins the race. He did everything he possibly could to win this title except lead the most laps. Can't get it done, can't even pass Smith, but still, great season from Lester. And he had, once again, the most wins in this season. Crompton and Anderson come home 2-3 from their stable. Todd Kenson, great run for him, finishes 4th. Clyde Lattinger, what a run from him, finishes 5th. Cody Lochner started 42nd, finishes 6th. Lester actually started 41st. So great run from the guys who qualified in the back. Alan Reed's finishing 7th. Jimmy Cohen finishes 8th. And then there's Mac DeCario with that 9th place finish, who secured the title from that, and he really put a padding on that as well. You remember he had to finish 15th. And Barry Juveno, who ran very well this race, finishes in the 10th position, 8 seconds behind. Here are your final point standings. Mac DeCario, 2,341 points, wins the title, 20 points over Nate Smith. Very heartbreaking to see Smith lose that after being such a great driver this season, but it wasn't for him this year, unfortunately, and tough break for him. Casey Lester, he probably could have had a better shot at winning this one if it wasn't for the past couple of races. He finishes 3rd in the standings, Justin Bazzani 4th, Carson Crompton back up to 5th, Alan Reed 6th, Cohen 7th, Ringer 8th, Herb Cilantro 9th, and Nick Dawson fell all the way back to 10th after his poor run here at Saskatchewan. Ringer probably would have won the second half championship if we had it, but he finishes 8th in the points standings this season. A couple ties in there as well, 6th and 7th and 8th and 9th. As we move on to 11th through 20th, Luis Tellez is 11th, Alex Jace finishes 12th, Will Legge 13th, Greg Sauer 14th, Kenny Gerald's 15th, Barry Juveno 16th. Great drive from him in his rookie season. Ricardo Blanco, another rookie, finishes 17th. Mike Oppenheimer 18th. 3 Op-Inc cars, 17th, 18th, 19th. Todd Bradshaw 19th, and Keith Davis rounds out the top 20. The Rookie of the Year battle was very close till the end, as Casey Lester obviously is going to win that, finishing 3rd in the standings. But great drive from all these guys. Juveno and Blanco were up there, really up there, top 5 for a good part of the season, but they obviously faded back a little bit and will finish still solid positions, 16th and 17th, and nothing to hang their heads about, as they had a great season in those 2 cars. 21st through 30th, Tyler Diefers, Renaissance Racing Ford, finishes 21st on the year. Luke Kinzen, another rookie, finishes 22nd. Tim Averill 23rd, another rookie. Sean Donnelly 24th. Sean Donnelly, his best points finish ever, I think. Cody Lochner 25th. Frank Harris 26th. Michael Carter had a disappointing season, finishes in the standings 27th. David Lee Bibson 28th, who also had a very disappointing season. Ryan Hensler 29th. I don't really know how he got back there, as he was up in the top 15 a couple weeks ago. Obviously, he had that big wreck this week at Saskatchewan. And then Sean Glossum rounds out the top 30 in your final point standings. Make sure you join in next year. The 2015 Livonia 250 is right around the corner. And I'd like to thank you for tuning in this season. And I hope you enjoyed what was a fantastic 2014 season. We'll see you next year.